Trail of Tears, which was the migration of Native Americans all over the United States to Oklahoma.
The Trail of Tears was the migration of Native Americans, including the Cherokee, Creek, Seminole, and the Choctaw tribes, sometimes called the 5 civilized tribes. The Cherokee tribe gave up their lands east of the Mississippi River. They moved from their homelands, which would now be called the American Deep South, to Oklahoma in the western United States. Native Americans suffered from exposure, disease, and starvation while going to Oklahoma. Many died or gave up, and including 4,000 of the 15,000 relocated Cherokee.
Cultural transformation proposed by President George Washington and Henry Knox, the chief artillery officer of the Continental Army, also the U.S.'s first Secretary of State, was gaining power among the Cherokee and Choctaw tribes. Andrew Jackson was the first U.S. president to put the Indian Removal Act of 1830 into action.
In 1831, the Choctaw were the first to be removed, and they became the model for all other removals. After the Choctaw, the Seminole were removed in 1832, the Creek in 1834, then the Chickasaw in 1837, and finally the Cherokee in 1838. After removal, some Native Americans remained in their ancient homelands. The Choctaw are found in Mississippi, the Seminole in Florida, the Creeks in Alabama, and the Cherokee in North Carolina.
A few thousand Europeans and Africans, usually as slaves, also accompanied the Native American tribes on the trek westward. By 1837, 46,000 Native Americans from these southeastern nations had been removed from their homelands, thereby opening 25 million acres for settlement by European Americans. Thank you.
Of course. There it is.
How come the pictures got less clarity than this one? Yeah. So these are all the different tribes.
This is the Seminole, which are found in Florida. This is the Chickasaw, which are found in some parts of Alabama.
This is the Choctaw.
Yes.
And here's the Creek and the Cherokee.
And this is where most of them went to.
Yeah, this is where the Cherokee went? No.
Yeah, a lot of the tribes met together. The Seminole, they took a sea route, and then they went from New Orleans all the way up to Oklahoma. But
Because you can see they stopped there and then they went to
Show us on the map everywhere where there were before Native Americans and then when white men came, where were they forced to?
Native Americans were actually all over the states, and they were being compressed into many
and then
different
they were
states.
forced into these smaller places. And then they were forced over here.
But they had all the good farming land, and then the white men wanted the good farming land, and they just pushed them out to like a dry, barren desert. Yes, they're
Up here,
You see this one from the people down there?
Yeah.
They went by sea route and then they crossed with another tribe and then they keep on going and then it stops. And then continues. What happens?
Well, there's an arrow, so it continues there. But they did stop for maybe like a year or two. And these are there.
oh, so they stopped.
Yeah.
Up here is the key. So this is Forks, Forest, Buffalo Range.
Any more questions?
So at the end of the westward expansion, where were the Native Americans forced to? How much of the land? Just show me the area-wise.
So they lived all over the United States.
Everywhere?
Everywhere, widely spread. And then they were forced into even smaller enclosures. Not enclosures, but they agreed to go
brown
into
areas?
Yes, the brown areas. This is
And
where most of the civilizations.
up here.
Yeah. And then some other Native Americans, which didn't have so much problems of moving to Oklahoma, they sort of sold the other Native Americans land. So that wasn't very nice of them.
So by the end, there was no one in those brown spaces? They were all shipped
No,
out?
only the white people.
Yeah, white people moved into the
And they made casinos in Los Angeles.
because they wanted the farmland.
Yes.
How did they swim? Or
They had to
swim like yeah, but what? But like
With boats.
I mean, were there a lot of boats or?
They had a lot of boats, of course.
Well, how can you carry that entire tribe across the ocean? You need a lot of boats to do it.
Yeah.
That's not the only way they went. How else did they go?
And then
They also went by horse carriages, a lot of them by foot, which was very hard for them. Some of the lucky ones, the very lucky ones, or the wealthier ones, they went by luxury horse carriages, but the other members of the tribe.
But the majority. Okay, and Matea's right. If I'm here, I'm not going to be going by boat. How am I going if I'm in a land of there? By foot?
By foot.
So they weren't certainly going by trains or buses.
No.